Wake and bake. Let's run it. We got the Stony Sports Report on the show this morning. We've got some unbelievable sporting news to cover this morning. Super fucking excited for the blessing to have awoke. So we are blessed to have a smoke. Genuinely excited to smoke a joint this morning with all the Roll Gangsters tuning in on all the streaming platforms. I'm Processor Sky, joined by my beautiful co-host, Rachel. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, get some nice sleep?
I'm a little tired, but I'm good, you know?
Little tired, but pushing through. That's the key to life right there. You have any new dreams? Any dreams last night, or was it one of those that you just can't remember?
Yeah, it's like weird little things that I'll remember throughout the day, and then it'll unfold my whole dream by the end of the night.
You said one thing last night, sleep talking. You were like, no.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
For real?
Yep. I was like, what? And you didn't say a thing. I knew you were asleep.
No way.
You were just like, no.
That's so scary. That's so creepy.
Yeah. I wonder
who
you were saying that to.
I'm so sorry.
What was going on in your dream that you were just like, no?
I don't know, but it sounds pretty on brand.
Yeah. But super excited to be joined by my beautiful co-host Rachel to go over some unbelievable sporting news from the past week. We've got some legendary champions. Today, call it the Champion Show. We are going to recap a bunch of champions, right?
Yeah, honestly, every story we have today is about a championship.
That's
right. I guess it is coming to that time of year, you know.
Yeah, the
other
championship.
Sports are coming to conclusion and others are getting ready to start, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
So super excited to dive on into this championship episode of the Stony Sports Report on the Weekday Wake and Bake. But before we get on into it, gotta give a major shout out to the sponsors of the show because they make it happen for all the Roll Gangsters every weekday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific and bring us a new episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. So who do we have to thank for this, Rachel?
The people that we have to thank for making this show possible is Oaksterdam University. So as always, the very first cannabis college, a great place to go get all of your cannabis knowledge. You can use that promo code Rolling Spoon, which is one word for 10% off of your tuition, whether that's in person or online. It works for both. And then, of course, the handy dandy cannabis multi-tool, the Rolling Spoon, helps you seal the deal and roll a dime every single time.
Yeah, I'm using my handy dandy rolling spoon to help me roll a nice little joint to smoke while we read off the latest and greatest in sports news. Today's episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake, as always, brought to you by those two amazing sponsors Rachel just mentioned, but also by all the Roll Gangsters tuning in. Absolutely love all the homies tuning in to every episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. If you guys wouldn't mind sharing your highlight reel play of the week, we would love to share it with all the Roll Gangsters. What have you been championing recently? And would love to hear and share with all the Roll Gangsters. But let's dive on into our latest and greatest in sporting news. We have some real legendary stories to touch on, so let's just dive on into it. How about it?
I think we should. So our very first piece of news today is... Drum roll.
Drum roll, please.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights brought home the Stanley Cup, and they dominated in this. So they won. They won last night 9-3.
9-3.
Concluding the whole series with a 4-1 win against the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, so they won the series 4-1, completely dominated. Two of the games, one was 7-2, and last night's was 9-3. And the Las Vegas Golden Knights made easy work of the Stanley Cup Finals, bringing the cup to our home city of Las Vegas. Cannot wait to go to the fucking to the parade that's about to be here.
I know. I mean, we watched a good bit of the game when you were on your break and everything, and they were just playing so cleanly. It was incredible. They were making these plays that my jaw was literally dropped. The way they just seemed so in sync. It was crazy. And I mean, I remember watching it when it was 5-1, and I was like, there's no way that Florida could ever come back from this. I think that the Knights just wanted it so much, and they went out and they played for it, and they got it. And the support of their fans this season has been crazy.
It has.
I had to run to the car wash because it was going to close soon while the game was still going, but I had it like on my phone. And I had like the vacuum cleaner things going, and I could tell that the Knights won because all of the cars like driving through the intersection started like honking. Not like at each other, but you know, like celebratory honks. Like cars were just driving around. Like it just started going crazy for a second. And then last night we went to the Strip to get a late night bite after Sam got off work. And the streets close by to T-Mobile Arena were trashed. I mean, the cleanup crew, we definitely have to be thankful for the people that do that because the fans went hard. You can tell the remnants are everywhere on the ground. But well deserved for the Golden Knights. They won their first ever Stanley Cup. Stanley Cup championship is huge. They
Champions
set their
of
eyes
the world.
for the prize and they got it.
Yeah, damn straight. Yeah, Rachel and I were there last night. Go check it out on my stories. I posted little pictures of Rachel and I by the championship stadium where the Golden Knights slayed the Florida Panthers to earn their first ever NHL championship. Champs of the world, Las Vegas. Let's fucking go.
Let's go, Vegas.
As I spark up this joint. This is probably this is my first joint of a new morning in Las Vegas with the Stanley Cup.
Cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, we're having our sesh with the Stanley Cup. We did have one last night. Like Rachel said, we were out on the dock by T-Mobile Arena where the Golden Knights won the championship. But yeah, we had a nice smoke with the Stanley Cup last night and this morning.
It was cool, yeah, and all of the casinos on the Strip had like the congratulations, like Vegas Golden Knights Stanley Championship. So it was pretty cool. There was a lot of support, a lot of people wearing jerseys all over the Strip. We couldn't go without seeing one for at least 30 seconds. They were everywhere. So congratulations to the Las Vegas Golden Knights, well deserved Stanley Cup champs.
Let's go, champs of the world, hockey.
So the second story that we have is going to switch over to the NBA. And we have a new champ. The Denver Nuggets won the NBA championship on the back of their new GOAT. Who's their new GOAT? Who's the new greatest of all time?
Nikola Jokic.
You think he's the new GOAT?
He slayed LeBron. You know what I mean? Like in the playoffs.
But here's the thing. Okay, well, what if it was in LeBron's prime? Would this guy be able to
Well, that's the thing. Like Nikola Jokic played this year like any of the GOATs in their prime. You know what I mean? He set NBA records for all three categories. Like he had in the very last game, he had 28 points and 16 rebounds. Like he's just basically doing it all. You know, one man wrecking ball. The whole team was really unbelievable. The Nuggets supporting cast, I mean, there was some real ballers. KCP, Jamal Murray playing out of their ass to help Nikola Jokic capture this title. But honestly, one player dominating every single game of every single series in the playoffs. Nikola Jokic is the next one to take over it went from Michael Jordan to LeBron, and now with LeBron getting older, Nikola Jokic is here to stay. And he's the best in the league right now, better than anybody playing. Maybe one of the best big men in the history of the game. He's 7 feet tall, but can shoot. He can rebound. He's just really smart. Just a really great player. The GOAT, the new GOAT, carrying the new mantle, just won his first championship, and I doubt it will be his last.
Yeah, it probably won't be. Mm-hmm. And I mean, for the Denver Nuggets and the Golden Knights,
yep,
we've got
winning their first
champs.
First championships. Yeah, but last story is not about a new champion. A champion that's been reigning for quite some time and finally relinquishing her reign to allow the sport to get entertaining again. But before we get on into it, gotta give a shout out to all the Roll Gangsters tuning in. Love to see you guys. Got Cali 420 Love in the building. Puff Puff Pass. Good point, Cali 420 Love. Go Knights Go from Rob Hine. The highest hitman in the best cannabis cultivar reviews in the game. Highest _ hitman in the building. Absolutely love to see it. All the homies tuning in on all the streaming platforms. You guys are the shit. Quick shout out, Oaksterdam University, the first ever cannabis college. The place to go to boost your cannabis knowledge. Rachel and I went for our respective cannabis education courses as I hawk a loogie on my beautiful co-host. But hit up Oaksterdam University for all of your cannabis education needs. What is the last story we got here?
So the last story we have is coming from the UFC, and this is a very special UFC legend. This is not one of these dominant males, This is a dominant female that I personally think provides every reason to show why there should be female UFC fighters. Because she is a natural born fighter. Incredible. So let's just get into it. Amanda Nunes, the second most dominant female athlete in the history of sports. Not just the UFC, but sports.
All of sports. Second to only Serena. Yeah.
She defended her belt for the last time, retiring at the top of 2 weight classes. First ever UFC fighter to retire with 2 belts.
Yeah. So the ultimate champion, Amanda Nunes, tying up her gloves for the future, retiring from the sport of MMA, and I can't even begin to tell how much the sport will miss her,
Yeah.
She is the female GOAT of the sport, It started with Ronda Rousey coming in and exploding onto the scene, but Amanda Nunes, the pound for pound most talented fighter in the world. There's no male fighter that's been as dominant as Amanda Nunes. You could put any female from anywhere in the world, as long as they're under 150 pounds, and face them off against Amanda Nunes, and she would win. From all the athletes, all the sports, you can't really confidently say that about the men, Derrick Henry would go into the UFC and wreak some havoc. But Amanda Nunes is the best female fighter in the history of humanity. Finally putting up her gloves and calling it one. Bantamweight and featherweight champion at the time of her retirement, and it has never happened like that before. She retired at the top of not only one division, not the champion, not the belt holder of her division, the belt holder of 2 separate divisions, the 145s and the 135s. Cut weight one last time, the whole way down to 135 to defend her bantamweight title against Irene Aldana, and dominated her. Just completely bullied her for 5 rounds. It was absolutely insanity.
The girl's face and her face structure, I don't see how it could ever be the same.
It was messed up.
Amanda Nunes was so dominant. It was incredible. But I will say, shout out to that girl for being able to
surviving
for the whole thing. I thought she was going to tap multiple times.
She should have.
She should have. It was that brutal. I just think she probably made so much money. She was doing it for the money at that point.
I
don't know either. But she... props to her for doing that. But Amanda Nunes is clearly defending her belt, and she's taking it with her for the rest of her life because no one's going to ever be able to take that away from her.
That's right.
She is dominant. She runs the sport, and it'll be interesting to see who comes to try to take her place.
I don't know. It might be a couple decades, you know?
I know.
Legitimately, her records, like, sometimes you get caught up in sports, like, just watching them. But, you know, whenever we were watching Amanda Nunes fights, that is experiencing greatness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For decades, people are going to talk about how dominant Amanda Nunes is and who could be the next Amanda Nunes because she defended her title more than anyone in UFC history. You know, she's just the best. She cleared out 2 whole divisions, fought every single contender in both divisions, retired fighting the fifth seed out. You know, she was the champion. Then there's the first contender, second contender, third. They rank them. She was fighting 5th because she already beat 1 through 4. You know what I mean? Just completely sheer and utter dominance. No one can beat Amanda Nunes. Her legacy will live on forever.
Very well deserved show dedicated to a bunch of champions.
Bunch of champions. The Las Vegas hometown Golden Knights.
Go Knights.
Champions of the world. The Denver Nuggets. And the retiring legend Amanda Nunes.
We should have been at the Golden Nugget watching the Golden Nuggets, eating Golden Nuggets.
Eating Golden Nuggets while the Nuggets win in the Golden Knights.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A. Could have been eating some Golden Nuggets from Chick-fil-A at the Golden Nugget, watching the Golden Nuggets get their golden trophy.
Fucking crazy. Absolutely love the energy coming from my co-host this morning and every morning. You know exactly where to find us. Some bright, young news stories for us to share with you every weekday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific on the Rolling Spoon channels. I'm Processor Sky, joined by beautiful Rachel.
Thank you for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow for a special episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We will see you then.
Peace. Mwah. Love y'all. Roll game.